Okay, I want to call to order the special meeting of the Board of Education for May the 24th. Nancy, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Beavers?
Here.
Dr. Corley?
Here.
Mrs. Dorr absent. Mr. Green?
Here.
Mrs. James? Here. Mrs. Miller?
I think she's
Here.
here. I think she's
Mr.
here.
Rumsey?
I'm here.
Right after.
Just say here.
Here.
Okay, going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Pugh to do it because, to inform all of you, she is part of the Education Foundation's golf outing that just happened last Friday, and they had, how much again did you raise?
Over 15,000.
Great job. Great job. So I'm going to let you lead it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Mrs. Pugh has signed on to do that for several more years. Okay, we need to approve the agenda. Mr. Grody, are there any additions or changes to the agenda as presented?
No changes.
I will accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the recognition of audience. The board welcomes your comments pursuant to Board Policy 2.230. Each speaker shall be limited to a 5-minute presentation. The board may or may not comment regarding public presentations. If the board feels the comment warrants discussion or action by the board, such discussion or action will be added to the agenda of a future meeting. First, I'm going to start with the public. Are there any public concerns? Are there any employee concerns? Yes, ma'am. Now, we're being recorded, so I'm gonna ask you to state your name.
Do you want me to go up there, or can I do it from here?
Okay, we can pick it up from there. Just stay right there, just
Okay.
state your name. Go ahead.
All right, I'm speaking for the general consensus of Carruthers, and we've just put a letter
Are you the
together.
spokesman for
I
everyone?
am.
Okay.
Well, yes, for most of us, for Carruthers, yes.
Okay. Do you have an exact number that you're speaking for? Just,
The school, yeah, we signed it as the school,
oh,
so yes,
okay,
I'll
okay.
do it as Carruthers. Okay, members of the board.
Name first.
Tracy Londeray, sorry.
Sorry.
Everybody knows me. All right. Members of the board, many teachers and staff are here tonight to show support for Carruthers School. We are concerned about the board's decision to not hire the candidate that Mr. Grody and the interview committee presented to the board. This committee read resumes, called references, conducted staff surveys, and sat in on interviews. The rejection of the committee's recommendation feels like a vote of no confidence in our staff and their abilities to recognize the real issues at Carruthers, especially when we have seen very few board members in our building asking questions to help prepare themselves to make this critical decision. Mr. Grody's contract was extended this school year. This seems to say that the board has confidence in his leadership and decision-making skills. It would seem to us that his recommendation should be respected. Therefore, the board should trust that he and the committee brought forth the best candidate for principal. Since the move to attendance centers, the teachers and staff have repeatedly expressed many concerns about student behavior, building issues, communication, staff morale, and lack of direction and vision for our building. All we are asking for is a strong leader. We need a person who can be a positive role model for our students, and a person who wants to make Carruthers the best school that it can be. We are asking for the board and administration to respect our knowledge of our building, our student and staff needs, and the goals that we have for Carruthers students. Sincerely, Carruthers teachers and staff.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hi, my name is Katie Russell. Good evening. First, I want to thank the board members who supported our interview committee's recommendation. I want to say that I'm upset with the board members who did not support the recommendation. This decision and the lack of information as to why they voted that way has created an adversarial environment between the staff at Carruthers and the board, when we should be working together to have the best building and district we can have. We now have an our candidate versus their candidate situation, which has left the door wide open for continued speculation as to why the board voted the way they did. Whether true or not, it's now believed the decision came from one board member's desire to hire their best friend and calling in favors from other board members to support them. So while I don't know this person or anything about them, do you really think that I'd want to work for them? And what a horrible situation for this person to come into. When we need someone to bring us together, unite us as a building, and lead the charge for us to work together, we're being further torn apart. And here we are in a recorded public meeting, airing our dirty laundry, further bringing down the reputation of our building and the school district. Lastly, if the board is unwilling to support a committee decision on a principle, will you be willing to support a committee decision on anything else? What about purchasing an ELA curriculum? Are we wasting our time by making a rubric, evaluating products, and piloting lessons? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you all. We need to move to old business, and the first item is the approval of the auditorium sound system.
Yeah, we went out to request for proposals and we reviewed, I believe we got 3, is that correct, Steve? 2 proposals, and the recommendation is that we go with the one from the Midwest Music Supply as presented.
All right, you heard the recommendation from administration about the approval of the auditorium sound system. I will entertain a motion. A second?
Second.
Nancy?
Dr. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Dorr? Yes. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mrs. James?
Yes.
Mr. Beavers?
Yes.
Mr. Lundy.
Yes, the motion carries. All right, we have a need to move into closed session.
Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 2 of the Open Meetings Act 5, Illinois Compiled Statutes 122C, to review the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee to determine its validity.
Need a second?
Second.
Nancy?
Mr. Beavers?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mrs. Dorr? Yes. Mrs. James?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Corley?
Yes.
Mr. Lundy.
Yes, motion carries.